Hey guys, today we're going to be replacing a Leafield C7 valve cap with a TRīB Outdoor Tech airCap pressure gauge. This is a pretty simple process. I'm just going to walk you through it. The airCap is going to go in the same spot that the Leafield C7 goes. The back side of this looks very similar to an airCap. Here's an example Leafield C7 cap. You can see that there's a lanyard here. There's also a seal. The airCap has a very similar seal, except it's got one extra, and that is intended to prevent any air from escaping when you're putting the valve cap on. It has a very similar lanyard, and that's what we're going to be putting on in the place of the C7. You can see that the air cap is displaying 0 psi right now. It's plenty bright out here for the air cap, but it's not connected to anything, so that makes sense that it's not displaying any pressure. So let's go ahead and get started. You only need one tool for this job, and that's just a pair of pliers. You can also do this with a flathead screwdriver, but pliers works pretty good. So we'll go ahead and unscrew the existing Leafield C7. You can see that it spins freely around the valve, and it's actually pretty easy to remove. So you just take your pliers, and what we're going to try to do is push this lanyard up over a couple ridges so that we can just pop it off. So we'll just start with the first ridge, and we want to just lift it up over that ridge. So we've got one done right there, and we just need to go to the second one, and that should be enough, and it just comes right off. So now we've got that C7 taken off. You can store that in case you need to use it later. And then we'll grab the air cap. We're done with the pliers now. And now I'm going to put air caps on every single one of these valves. It's important that we know the pressure in each chamber. Some of the chambers are connected together. Sometimes there's baffles between them. It's really important that we know the pressure in each chamber so that we don't damage any of our tubes when we're inflating them. It's particularly important in the floor of the boat. The chambers in the floor of the boat are particularly vulnerable to overinflation, which is part of the reason you'd see a pressure relief valve in the floor of a lot of different boats. So we're going to install an air cap in each one of these chambers, and we'll just start with the first one here. So again, we look at the back of this, and we've got a lanyard. It looks very similar to that Leafield C7, so we're just going to be pushing it on over the top of these ridges. As you can see that they just go right over the top of this. You can just use your fingers. You don't really need any tools. And it also spins freely, just like the C7 valve cap. So right now we're displaying 0 psi, not connected yet. So if we just push it on there and turn it in, we've got 0.68 psi. When I pumped this up, it was about 1 psi. It was a little earlier in the day, and it's gotten a little colder now, so the pressure's dropped. One thing that you'll notice as you start to use your air cap is that you'll really see the variation in pressure throughout the day, particularly if you're pumping your boat early in the morning, and then later in the afternoon you could see up to double the psi or perhaps more, going from 1 psi to 2 or 2.5 just with the sun or the heat of the day. And so it'll give you a lot of information about how your boat's behaving. So we can unscrew that, and you can see that the air cap goes right back to 0 psi. And so we would leave these installed at all times except for when you're pumping, and it just gives you a really good idea of what the pressure of the boat is. So I'd go around and I'd do this to the rest of the chambers as well. But that's it. Hope that helped you guys out.